Well, hey now, everybody. It's the Rob from Kiss 106 and 103gbfrocks.com alongside my tag team partner in podcasting, the smartest guy in the room, Jerry Valeri. Good morning, Jer.
Morning, Rob. I appreciate that title. I felt like the smartest boy in class last night.
Jer, I mean, if you want to start by just gloating for a minute, I feel like you've earned it. Let me just set this up and let Jerry react as he wants to.
Thank you.
We disagreed on 5 matches yesterday, and Jerry got as close as you could to getting just like a perfect sweep of me. He got 4 of them right, and the one he didn't get right was the one that Brock Lesnar won.
Right, and I felt for a second before that happened that Corbin was actually going to do it.
I got to tell you, not only that, you predicted the cash-in.
I called the Bailey thing. I was like,
not only did you call Bailey winning, you called her cashing in. I'm impressed, Jer. I'm not worthy today.
I appreciate it. It kind of makes up for. I've been abysmal in the rankings and the picking. I don't think I've won a Lock of Destiny for like 6 months. So
it has been a minute.
It's been a while. I've had a really hard time. Last night it just all kind of came together. The only thing I got really wrong was I thought, and I still think it would have been better storytelling for Bailey to have cashed in on Sasha, or to have cashed in on Becky, and have Becky have won 2 matches and then just couldn't do the third in a row.
I agree. You know what it is, though? It's to get Charlotte's numbers up.
They're hot-shotting her. They got her to 9. Now the next time she wins, she's to 10.
It's so annoying. I hate this.
They hot-shotted her for that number, and I believe it. I'm glad you said that.
So, yeah. And after that, I kind of want to start with letter grades, if you don't mind.
Okay. I'd like to hear yours. Mine's. I have to remind myself, and I do this in radio. I have a rule in radio, filter in radio is, and I wish more people did this. Just because it happens to me doesn't make it interesting. That's my radio filter. In wrestling and grading shows, just because it's not what I wanted doesn't make it bad. And so I have to remember that when I give the grade for last night's pay-per-view.
Did you not want Brock Lesnar at the end?
Sure didn't. I sure didn't.
Is everybody upset about Brock coming back at the end with the Money in the Bank?
I'm mad at a bunch of stuff. And for someone that is a stickler for storylines and a stickler for keeping things at least above board from a legitimate storytelling standpoint, I think you'd be upset too. He wasn't in the match. You and I could have shown up, I guess, and grabbed the stinking thing.
So
he wasn't actually in the match.
I agree with you on that part, but I'm not sad that the guy's back with the briefcase.
My God, I'm upset that I think everyone's saying it's just to set up Saudi Arabia. Like I kind of feel like they could have just done a Seth Brock thing for Saudi Arabia without the briefcase.
I totally agree with that, but I just love. Because this is the one guy that even the smart fans heel out on.
I mean, he is the biggest heel in the company now. He is. I mean, nobody wanted this. Nobody.
I know, and I love it. Anyway, do you want my letter grade?
I felt this way when they put the belt on Goldberg for the Brock Lesnar-Goldberg match at WrestleMania, and I feel this way now with the Money in the Bank. Brock Lesnar matches don't need props. They don't need these storyline devices, and other people could use them better. And so that's frustrating. Let's hear your grade.
Man, Jerry's hot.
Jericho was funny. I posted that this morning. Did you see the Jericho tweet?
Mm-hmm.
Future of the business. Thanks a lot, Brock.
Look, just like you called a prop, the Money in the Bank is a prop.
Well, it is.
Correct. So
it is, but it's better used on somebody else. It just is. But they did what I wanted. They did what I thought they were going to do with Baron Corbin. They just give it to someone nobody wants to see it on, just to make them, just to give them nuclear heat. And they did it. They took the better option. They took the bigger draw. They took Brock Lesnar. And everyone thinks he's going to cash this in on Seth Rollins, and he very well may. But with SmackDown on Fox looming, he could make everybody just hate his guts and more than they do and cash it in on Kofi.
It's so funny because everybody, I mean, if you go back through the predictions, especially around WrestleMania time, Royal Rumble time, and I don't just mean this year, I mean the past handful of years, everyone always knows more than everybody else. And everyone's always like, yeah, Brock's going to drop the title because Brock's going to UFC. That's where his heart is. He's going to fight Daniel Cormier. He's going to do it. It's just like.
And he didn't.
He never does. And that's my thing. It's like everyone's always the smart guy when it comes to Brock.
Well, and I saw a lot of smart guys today saying that after Saudi Arabia, he's not going to be on WWE television for 6 months. And I don't believe that.
Everyone always knows the answer when it comes to Brock because they think they watch UFC. It's just, I mean, am I wrong about this?
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I need to see, has CM Punk ever had Money in the Bank?
Yeah.
How many days did he hold the Money in the Bank briefcase? Because Brock's going to keep it 1 day longer.
Anyway, do you want my letter grade?
Let's hear it.
I thought it was a good show.
Yeah.
I give it a B, B+.
B+.
Or B. Whichever. I can nudge either way, depending on what you think. It
checked all the boxes. You and I, you have your criteria for grading a pay-per-view, and I've adopted it. Storytelling, leading up to matches, excitement before the pay-per-view starts, excitement from the build. That's one big little portion. The match quality itself. Did something water cooler talk-ish happen? It clearly did. What's the other one? There's another one.
Well, if you missed it, did you miss important stuff?
Yeah, and you sure did.
The storyline stuff that you've mentioned first, it includes the builds, but it also includes what happens on the show.
Aside from the fact that Money in the Bank ladder match at the end was incredible. I thought it was an incredible match. Those guys were out of their minds. They did such a killer job, and I thought that it was a metaphor for just how the WWE operates now. That all these guys killed themselves in this match, and they're just laying around the poor Finn Balor's back is never going to be the same. Those guys are just dead outside the ring, and Brock Lesnar did absolutely nothing, and he's sitting on top of the ladder holding the Money in the Bank briefcase. It's just a metaphor for how the WWE operates when it comes to Brock. That was a great match. That was like an A match. It wasn't even my favorite match on the card, and my favorite match on the card wasn't even Seth Rollins and AJ Styles, which was also an A match. Like,
really?
My favorite match was Kofi and KO. I just loved everything from KO's entrance to his intensity to Kofi Kingston and the way they were just working back and forth. Those two have really good chemistry, and I hope that continues. That was my favorite of the matches. And I would have given that a B+ or an A. There were good matches. There were some poops. There were a couple poops, and I didn't like the ending.
I don't think there were. What were poops to you?
I thought the Rey Mysterio Samoa Joe was a poop. I thought Lars Sullivan was a poop.
Those are fast poops, dude. That's not leaving long enough to be a poop.
I thought the ending to Shane McMahon and The Miz was a poop.
I don't agree with that.
You don't agree that was a poop? I mean, did the referee screw it up, or was it just written in, like the rope break inside the cage? Like there was just so many like.
No, well, the referee probably did the right thing because even though that shouldn't have counted, if Shane's or who did it? Shane was the one who grabbed the rope. Yeah, Shane didn't kick out. If he wasn't going to kick out, we would have had a situation on our hands that was even worse. Super bad. So I'm just wondering, did Shane botch that, or was that part of the story? Like the ref is just I think that was a botch personally, but it was on Shane's part. So no one will ever get in trouble. So there were some poops, but they weren't big poops. I actually want to give this an A- pay-per-view. I don't think there were any real poops. Like even
the Bailey stuff was just exciting from the minute Becky Lynch and Lacey Evans come out till that whole thing with Bailey ends. That was a captivating hour of television.
That's what I was going to say. I really, if you would have told me that on Friday when we made our predictions or whatever day we did Thursday, that they would have bundled both those women's matches together, I would have probably thought that was a bad idea. But I really appreciated that they kind of made it one segment.
And it made sense for Charlotte to just come out and be like, we're doing it now.
Yeah. Yeah, it really did. And then you cap it off with a third match, and it was that was really well done storytelling in a wrestling perspective.
And Bailey was over in that crowd.
My God.
She was Bailey in the bank.
Boy, now that I think about it, it makes even more sense for her to have cashed in on Charlotte because if it would have been Becky, it would not have been that warm.
It would not have been warm. I was thinking Bailey heel turn was coming. That's another misstep that I took. But
hey, listen, against Charlotte, you can hold your head high today, pal.
I feel good about the predictions. So little poops. I thought that they did Elias and Roman Reigns as well as they were ever going to do it. They gave us a lot of. He hits him with the guitar. He goes out. He talks trash. He gets his ass kicked. Roman gets the win. 5 minutes total. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, that's what I want.
I think that the Shane Miz ending was a poop. I thought the Lars Sullivan thing was a poop. Samoa Joe and Rey Mysterio doesn't interest me in any way. I think it's treadmill booking. It's poop. But they're not big poops. They're little itty bitty bird poops. I give it an A-. I think that's okay. You disagree? Can you not go into A territory with me? I'll go B+. I'll go B+.
It's funny because I don't think those things were poop, but I've explained that, and those things, I mean, you could argue they were bad, but I'm not even sure I would say they were bad. Like, I don't know, that image with Joe's bloody face at the end, the Mysterio, I mean, yeah, I would have loved to have seen it go on a little longer, but they kept it quick, intense, bloody. Dominic got his stuff in, I don't know. I didn't think it was poop.
What about the Lars poops? He bled too, like Goldberg by accident.
Lars, they're trying to get the guy over, and that's what the plan is right now. So they kept it quick too. It's like, a quick little squash match with the Lucha House Party, whatever. I mean, like, is it an A? No, but is it poop? No, I don't think so.
Just a little pooped.
Well, okay. I mean, but little poops are still Fs in my opinion.
So I said I felt like there were little poops, but I still gave it an A. You don't think there's poops, but you gave it a B.
Yeah,
we're the weirdest. What about the cruiserweight match? I thought that was a good match. It just had no heat.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Nothing was like, I have to see this. I can't miss this.
I thought the booking for the Usos, and Brian and Rowan was interesting. I didn't know it was a non-title match. Did you? I did not know.
I didn't know until I saw it on John shared something about it on Facebook, and I was like, I didn't even realize I thought the Usos were champions as we speak.
Well, technically, we got that right as per our predictions, because the post-to-post rule states when you pick a winner, it's who leaves with the belts.
That's right.
So you and I were both correct when we picked the Brian and Rowan.
Well, I guess that's only for title matches, though. I would think. I don't know.
Yeah, and it was a match that involved a title. I didn't know it was non-title. The WWE doesn't communicate.
I know, pal.
They never gave me that fake Iconics match I was promised.
So I'm trying to think of what else. I also thought the women's ladder match, for what it was good.
Yeah. And you know who gets a lot of pops and everybody thinks it's great, and I think she looks super fake and her moves are bad and she doesn't execute them really well, and I just don't get the appeal.
I know. I got to know who you're going to say. It's got to be Naomi.
No, it's Nikki Cross. I don't get why people cheer for Nikki Cross.
She doesn't bother me.
I don't think Naomi is another one, but I don't think Naomi gets the crowd pop like Nikki does. People seem to love Nikki Cross, who's still coming out to the Sanity entrance, and they're not a thing.
They are dissolved, aren't they?
They're dissolved. One of them's gone back to NXT. I think one of them retired, and Eric Young is on Raw, but hasn't been seen.
What a shame. They could have really been something.
I thought so. It's like Vince doesn't even watch NXT.
My understanding is he doesn't.
They work really. They put on some great matches. I mean, that one War Games match, that was like a Match of the Year candidate. Killian Dane is a big man that can work.
Hey, man, I'm with you. So
I was a little disappointed. Disappointed is not the word. I was kind of hoping I'd see Bray.
Sure, I can understand that.
But we didn't. We'll see him tonight, maybe.
Maybe. Or we'll get, I think we'll at least get something.
Get another fun house.
I'm so excited. I love this. And the longer you give us fun houses, the stronger it's going to make his debut.
Yeah.
So, but it did.
I just hope they don't blow his debut in Saudi Arabia.
Why would that be blowing it?
They're not putting any, because this Saudi Arabia show is more of a joke than the rest of them.
Why do you say that?
It just is. They're not putting anything behind any of it. Anything. It's just like, and the Undertaker's gonna have another match, and Goldberg's showing up, and there's no story, and I don't see anything actually happening at this pay-per-view coming up, because I've come to learn that they want to not have to reference this pay-per-view when it's over. I think that the WWE knows that the stink of greed is all over them when it comes to Saudi Arabia, and they just do it and get it done and move on.
I can't wait till everyone starts calling it another glorified house show, because
it is. It's not like it's canon. It's not like it's canon with the WWE universe.
As someone who
show up out of nowhere.
As someone who just went to a house show 2 weeks ago, I can tell you, boy, it really feels like it's the same level of intensity.
You didn't see Randy Orton fight Triple H at your house show?
I mean, Goldberg did fight the Undertaker at our house show, but there wasn't a 50-man battle royal.
That's going to be a bad match, Goldberg Undertaker.
Oh yeah, that's going to be bad.
It's going to be bad.
Are you not a little excited to see 50 guys in the ring at once?
No.
Just a little?
No.
Don't you think they're going to have to tell us the ring's been reinforced?
The greatest battle royal.
You're not a little excited?
I'm only going to be excited if Colin Jost is in it.
Come on, just a smidge.
Congratulations, Colin Jost, by the way. He's engaged.
Yeah, I saw that. He's doing well for himself.
I did not know he was dating Scarlett Johansson.
I did. I'm a big SNL guy.
That guy, living the dream.
To quote Brittany, he's got great hair. I don't know if you've seen it or not, but you're not. I know you, Jerry. You want to see what the ring looks like with 50 people in it.
I don't.
You do, though.
I know you do. They're going to have to be on each other's shoulders. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. That sounds interesting, right?
You put the Viking Warriors and Heavy Machinery in there, and just those four alone take up a quarter of the ring.
So doesn't that sound exciting?
I don't know. They're going to find a way to blow it.
There's never been 50 guys, at least in a WWE ring before, probably let alone any ring.
Why are they stopping at 50? Why can't they get to 60 and even double the Rumble?
That'd be a good name for it.
Double Rumble Battle Royal.
The Double Rumble. WCW used to do a 60-man Battle Royal, but that took place over 3 rings.
Yeah, I remember the double ring.
I wonder.
I didn't hate that.
You don't think there'll be more than one ring, do you?
You never know.
I don't think
People
so.
think they know everything. I kept hearing that this show was going to be called The Sands of Time, and it's not. It's just called the Super Showdown again.
I heard Brock Lesnar was going back to UFC to fight Daniel Cormier.
And he's never going to be seen from again in the WWE. He's back, and he's looking lean. Like he's looking like maybe like he looks like he. You know, I'm not telling the joke. I'm not saying it. It's inappropriate.
Who, Brock?
No, I had a joke that was about to come out of my mouth, and I was going to regret it as soon as I said it, and I'm just letting it go.
Okay.
He's looking lean these days.
Wait, I'm trying to think of where you were even going.
I'll tell you off the air, pal.
Okay. All right. Gotcha.
And if you laugh really hard and you say, that would have been fine, I'll say it tomorrow.
Okay. That could be something to look forward to.
But I don't think you're going to. I think you're going to say,
tell you, if Jerry is balking at it, it's probably bad.
It was the first thing I thought when I saw him last night. So, anyways.
All right. I thought, now, okay, this is going to take a little bit of explanation, but I did think there was a potential match of the year last night.
I feel like you're going to say it was AJ and Seth, and I can't disagree. That was a phenomenal match.
Okay. The only caveat to that is it's almost June, and I don't have a whole lot of contenders.
I have none.
Yeah, I think I've got one, but it's from NXT.
Yeah.
And I can't think of a better main roster match in 2019 that I like more than that match last night.
They delivered.
So I hope that someone exceeds this, but and I even thought it got off to a kind of a weak start. Like, it took me a little while to get into that match, but it kept building and building and building and staying so even. And man, I got to tell you, and everything was executed so well. I thought they did a really good job.
Yeah, I started sitting up and getting closer to the edge of my seat right around the time that when Seth goes for the stomp and it gets turned into the whatever the frick.
Goes for the stomp and it got turned into
the AJ Styles upside
the Styles
down
Clash.
The Styles Clash. I don't know why I blanked on that name, but whatever the frick.
So I thought, I mean, like I said, I know it seems like it's not quite match of the year, but so far in 2019, if there's been a better match on the main roster, I can't think of it.
I will have a hard time disagreeing with you on that, although it still wasn't my favorite of the night. My favorite was KO and Kofi. How did you feel about that match?
I don't feel about it the way you did. It certainly wasn't bad, but I didn't love it.
I loved watching KO come out, just his music and his attitude and how fired up people. I mean, I hope those guys go around and around a little bit more.
I think it's pretty clear they're going to.
Yeah.
Got a note from Steve, something I hadn't thought of. I think Bray tied up Sammy last night.
Well, now I thought that too, but now I'm to believe that Brock took him out.
Well, wait a minute. Is it not implied that it was Braun?
I feel like Braun was the red herring. Braun was the one everyone assumed did it to get revenge. And then he gets thrown out and he's knocking everybody around out in the back anyways. Triple H throws him out and he's like, I know what you did to Sammy. And Braun, and I don't think Braun is being booked to lie about this. I think he was telling the truth. Braun was like, I didn't do it. I didn't do that to him. So when he did that, I started thinking, part. So he says, I didn't do it. And I believe him. And I started thinking, here comes Bray Wyatt. This is interesting because maybe they're booking Bray as like the scariest face you've ever seen in your life. And then Brock came out at the end and I was like, oh, Brock did it. That makes sense. Brock Lesnar beat Sammy within an inch of his life, hung him upside down and just said, I'm going into the match. So I think it's Brock, but it could have been Bray. Because Brock would have just left him laying, right?
I've actually got now that I'm sitting and thinking about it, I've got a kind of a hot take, I feel like.
Let's hear this take.
I think it was actually Randy Savage. Because did you look at the knot, though? It looked very similar to the one he tied up Crush with at WrestleMania 10. Do you remember what I'm talking about? No, you don't remember their Falls Count Anywhere match where Randy tied up Crush and then hung him up, but it looked terrible?
Sure.
That's okay. You don't know, but it's okay.
I don't know.
Well, Randy wrestled Crush at WrestleMania 10, but now his joke's going to fall flat because you don't get it.
It's not falling flat. I get it. The fact that you say it's Randy Savage is funny in and of itself because the dude's dead. And I'm Googling it as we speak.
I'm shocked you never seen WrestleMania 10?
I have. I just don't remember the knot you're talking about.
Well, he tied him up in a wire and hung him upside down.
Yeah. Okay. I'm looking at the pictures now, but it was different.
Typically, the more you have to explain a joke, the funnier it gets. So
no, because now I'm looking at the picture. I totally forgot all about it. He's standing beside him. It looks like he just caught a shark, and he's standing on the pier like a proud fisherman.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm gonna put it over, pal. I'll do the job for you. I missed the reference at first, and I was like, where the hell is he going with this Randy Savage?
The only solace I have is I bet you everyone listening got the reference.
Well, I promise you that after this podcast, I'm going to be on the Facebook page, and I'm going to put the picture that Rob's referencing. And it's going to be there.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Is there anything we didn't cover that we should? Oh, you know what? I have one thing I wanted to cover.
Let's hear it.
You know what we need is another title.
Oh, God, I know. I saw that. What are they going to call this one? The creative doesn't have anything for you title.
I don't know. Does anyone know is it what they're talking about here? I've been off my news site's been screwing up here lately, and I got to find a new one, I think. But does anyone know what they're talking about with this new title?
There's two speculative guesses.
I have a cold guess, but do you want to hear my cold guess?
Your cold guess will be my cold guess. Go ahead.
Maybe revisiting the hardcore title.
That's what everybody was thinking. Yeah, and that was my guess too. And they say it's either going to be that or like a mid-range women's title, like an intercontinental women's title or a U.S. title for the women.
Just call it the Millennial Championship because now literally every woman has a trophy.
The last thing we need.
Becky has two.
I mean, Becky won belt. She's got one now.
I know, but come on.
I can't. There's too many belts. There are too many championships, and they're introducing another one tonight.
That's why I want Brock to have the Universal because it kind of means one less. This is a mess.
He's never getting the Universal. I mean, I shouldn't say never again, but he's not getting it. They're not taking it off of Seth here. I'm posting the picture as we speak.
Okay. Well, listen. Is there anything else we need to mention, or did we get it all?
I think we got it all and then some. I feel like we got it and then some. Did we settle on did we settle?
Well, I give it a B plus. You give it an A, or did you say A or A minus?
A minus.
All right. So we give it like a high B or a low A.
You can change the caption if you want. I just wrote "nice knot, pal."
All right, then. So we'll get at it tomorrow. We'll talk about everything that goes down on Raw tonight. We can't wait to find out that new championship.
I hope it's hardcore.
I hope it's a joke. That's all I hope.
It's not a joke.
I know.
Whatever it is, give it to Brock.
For myself, the Rob, my tag team partner, Jerry, who's having a heck of a win streak. We will see you tomorrow for a new episode of Post to Post.
Bailey in the bank. Bailey in the bank.